How did national debt cause the French Revolution? Imagine a country drowning in debt, unable to pay its bills, and the people feeling the squeeze. That was France in the late 1700s. The nation had borrowed huge amounts of money from other countries and its own citizens. This borrowing was mainly to pay for wars like the 7 Years' War and the American War of Independence. These wars drained France's treasury and left the government with a debt of over 4 billion livres. To put that in perspective, that was a staggering amount at the time, and it meant most of the government's income went just to pay interest. France was nearly bankrupt, and its finances were in chaos. Now, the way France collected taxes made things worse. The tax system was unfair and inefficient. The nobility and clergy, called the First and Second Estates, were mostly exempt from paying taxes. They enjoyed privileges and didn't have to contribute much. But the Third Estate, which included peasants, city workers, and the middle class, bore the entire tax burden. This created a huge gap between the rich and the poor. The government tried to fix this by proposing new taxes to raise revenue from the wealthy, but the privileged groups blocked these efforts. King Louis XVI was afraid to push too hard because he didn't want to lose their support. So, the crisis deepened without any real solutions. As the debt grew and the government struggled to pay its bills, confidence among creditors started to fall. France had to borrow more money just to keep running, which made the situation worse. The king was desperate and called the Estates General in 1789. This was a big assembly of representatives from all three estates, and it hadn't met for over 175 years. The goal was to approve new taxes and reforms. But this meeting opened a floodgate of demands for change. People started questioning the monarchy's authority and the unfair social system. The financial crisis also hit the everyday lives of ordinary people hard. Food prices soared because of inflation and bad harvests, making bread unaffordable for many. Bread was the main food for most French families, so when it became scarce and expensive, anger grew. People blamed the government's mismanagement and the king's inability to fix the economy. This economic hardship, combined with the social inequality and political frustration, created a perfect storm. The Third Estate and urban workers felt they had no voice and no way out. Their anger turned into revolutionary ideas, and the debt crisis was a big part of sparking the upheaval. In the end, the national debt caused the French Revolution because it exposed how fragile the old system was. The government's inability to manage its finances showed the deep flaws of the Ancien regime. It made the social inequalities worse and pushed people to the edge. The crisis made the monarchy look weak and out of touch, which led to protests, demands for change, and ultimately the fall of the monarchy in 1790. The debt was more than just numbers. It was a symbol of the failing old order that needed to be replaced.